Good morning and welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors, everyone. We're just getting packed up, ready to go. I got the hot rod warming up just a little bit. It's brisk, foggy morning out here this morning. You should be able to tell a little bit. You can see the trees over here, but there's more trees back behind what you can see there that you can't see because of the fog. So I don't know what that's going to do to the catch rate or anything like that. Typically a cool morning means the canines are going to be running around. I expected maybe to have some raccoon catches yesterday and that didn't happen. So I don't know if a little cooler, calmer night like it was last night will make the difference or not. But yeah, I just don't know. I kind of give up guessing this year because everything that I thought I knew has kind of been flipped on its head this year. So I don't know. I would assume a little cooler night. Maybe the canines would have been running around. But yeah, we're going to be running pretty much status quo now. We got 7 beaver sets put out yesterday. So we'll be checking them right at the end of the line or kind of towards the end of the line there. Otherwise, they'll be running the sets I have out probably till the end of my season, which will be here in a few days. So yeah, I think I'll have 3 checks on these beaver sets, and then I'm going to pull them on Sunday, and then we're going to pull the rest of the line Monday. So 4 checks left. We'll see how things go. We putting up pretty darn respectable numbers, I feel like. So yeah, I didn't do anything different with the truck. I didn't refill anything like that. I don't feel like I need to. And I think I did leave one more beaver drowning rod that I didn't use yesterday. I'm going to haul him around today just in case I get to those beaver houses and something goes awry. And I feel like I need to put another set in somewhere. I want to have one rod. So we're going to haul that rod around today. If I don't use it today, we'll take it out of here tonight. But otherwise, yeah, I do have some more beaver gear in there if I need to use it. I'm not terribly concerned in the one house about catching all the beaver out of there, but the other one I want to catch everything. So I got 5 sets around the one, 2 around the other. The one with 5 sets, I want to catch every beaver that's there. So we'll see if I can get them thinned out here in the next couple days and hopefully catch them all there. I don't know how many are even going to be in there. I'm guessing a pair probably, but I don't even know if that's true or not. Because I did catch one this summer as a nuisance job there, a half a mile from there across. Basically, there's like a little drainage goes from the slough they're in into a great big wildlife slough. And then on the other side of that wildlife, I did catch one this summer. So there may only be 1 beaver in there, to be quite honest, because I caught the other one this summer. But we'll see when we get there. We'll know right away if I got some young of the year beaver. If I catch a giant beaver in there, that'll give me a little clue there might be more beavers in there. So we'll find out soon enough. Probably about 5 hours from now we'll know. So it's about what it'll take to get me around my line to get me to that point. So all right, I think that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, we're going to be running pretty much what I got out for a line. It's pretty much what we're going to be checking the rest of the season here. So I do have a few spare traps if I need them, that type of stuff, but otherwise, let's get out on the line, see if I got anything caught for you. Well, all right, guys. First sketch of the morning, and I'm pretty darn excited about it. We're only a handful of sets down the road. Well, I got 2 coyote sets up here that I just checked. I got 1 raccoon set there, and I got 1 over here. But I just wanted to show you kind of the setup here. So we got a big grassy draw. Shoot, from over here to over here, it's probably 75 yards wide on the top. And it goes across, and then it just keeps on going for, well, even a couple miles up here. So we got this big culvert here. And I caught a couple raccoons and 1 skunk here, I think, this year so far. With the rain we've gotten, it's actually run a little water into the bottom of this thing. So I don't know if that's going to dampen down the raccoon traveling. But I do have a 220 right here. But you can see there's water, and there's water up over here. I don't know now that it's cooling off if that will stop the raccoons from traveling, but there it is. See the little white spot right there? That is the first one of the season. That is the back leg, if I was guessing, of a weasel. That's usually how you can tell when I get one caught, to be quite honest. Bingo! There he is. First weasel of the season. It's not that cold out here, so he's not froze today. Looks like a little bit smaller size one, but bang, first weasel of the year. So now the only animal I haven't caught this season is an otter. But I don't expect to really catch an otter. I do have a few beaver sets out, and I have one set that's kind of dedicated to catching an otter if one comes through, but bam. First weasel of the year. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave this box. I was going to pick them up as I caught weasels, but for this particular spot, I've caught multiple weasels here other years. It's a good spot year over year to catch them. So when there's not water, like last year, this culvert had, I don't know, 6 inches of water in it all fall. So until it froze up, it didn't really pay to put a weasel box here. But this year, the weasel, or it's dry in here, so the weasels can get in here and boom. All right, we'll get him out of here, get this box reset, and keep on moving. Well, all right, guys, we're to the first water sets of the morning. Landline's been dead. No golf balls knocked off of dog proofs, nothing. Just no sign of no life yet this morning, but we got the culvert over here. I got a trail set and a mink set. Those are still working. On this end, though, there's a trail set right here that's still working. But right here, I kind of have a trail set blocking this little channel here. And we got ourselves a little muskrat. So we'll get this guy out of here and keep on moving. Well, all right, guys, we're just a few sets down from that muskrat. Spot here, we're gonna pull this box now, but what I got, there's like a grassy drainage ditch runs down, and then there's actually a slough out here in the middle of this section of land here, I guess. We do have a chunk of woods up here, and then on this side there's just a chunk of CRP grass. I don't know, it's several hundred yards long, maybe 100 yards wide here, right here by the culvert. I've had this weasel box here, it was probably the 3rd or 4th year, and caught a few mice here, but never caught a weasel. But today we got ourselves a weasel, but I don't know how well you could see that, but he's not very white. He's got a decent amount of brown still in him, but like I said, I don't know how many weasels are going to be in some of these spots, so there he is. Like I said, he's got a little brown still in him, which is a little surprising. I figured they'd be all pure white right now, but oh, and it's a good sized weasel too. So there you go, second weasel of the day. The cold weather must have got him up and moving, and a little surprising. That's the first time ever I've caught 2 weasels in one day. So just using a chunk of beaver meat for bait, but yeah, there you go. Like I said, he's got a decent amount of brown still kind of in him, which again is a little surprising. I don't know what that's going to do. This one's quite a bit bigger than the last one, but all right, we'll get him out of this trap. Like I said, we're going to take the box with me because I don't want to catch every weasel in the country. I just wanted to catch one, really. And bingo, we got 2 today. So 2 of the giant weasels. So yeah, we'll get him out of here. Like I said, we'll get this box thrown in the truck here and keep on moving. All right, everyone, we're Well, let's see. I've only checked one coyote set since I last turned you on. This is the second one, so I'm almost getting rained on here. The frost is drying off or melting off of the trees, and it's just raining here. And that's probably why this guy is a little bit on the damp side. So, well, we got a pick cornfield here. We got a yard here. I'm not that far. It's only like 150 yards up to the road up there. Coyote set right on the corner. I typically have it over this way a little bit because I want the scent to kind of cut the corner, but it didn't work out the way they didn't work up this field as good as I would have liked over there, even though I still probably could have put my set there. But so I'm over around the corner just a little bit more than I want, but I still think the wind is going to blow it across the corner because, so this is northwest looking that way, or looking southeast. So the wind would be coming from the camera blowing that way. A typical northwest wind, which is our dominant wind here. So got ourselves a coyote here, pretty good sized one. He is muddy. This set is going to be an absolute shit show to get made. I think the last time I remade it, I think I had a raccoon caught here. I think I ended up going out over here and getting some drier dirt because he's got it like lathered up into like a slurry almost, and he is muddy. So we'll have to fix her up the best I can here. It ain't gonna probably look pretty when I'm done, but it didn't look pretty the last time, and it fooled this guy. So I think this is the second coyote here, so it's a raccoon, then a coyote, then a raccoon, and then a coyote again. So, and I find it interesting, this guy's got real light colored eyes. A couple of them, like yesterday, had like really dark color, like dark brown eyes. So just something I noticed when they're sitting here looking at you. So, all right, well, I don't know how well you could see if you don't move, but he's mud halfway up the side. His whole back hind there's all of this is all mud covered in there. So he's light color, he's just covered in mud. So, and now he just looks ashamed laying there. So we'll get him out of here, like I said, get the set remade and keep on moving. So I think I did make a mistake yesterday too. I think last night on the end of the line video, or the last summary video part of the video, I think I said I had 34 coyotes. I actually only had 33 at the end of yesterday. So this guy here makes 34 for the season. So I went back and looked, and yeah, I only had 33, not 34. So this makes number 34 for the season. And I believe this is like the 20th, 21st something check. I don't even know. They all blend together when I'm this deep into a season. So all right, let's get him out of here, get the set remade the best I can, and keep on moving. The landline producing again. We got 2 weasels and a coyote. And I'll just show you, like I said, I did pull that box and I got the 2 weasels laying here, but you could see, this one here, even though he's crinkled up here, if I straighten him out, he's whole neck and head longer than this other one. So it's quite a bit bigger weasel. It's probably about as big as they get in my area. And then we got just the little guy, but the little guy is nice and pure white. So I don't know what that's going to do to the value of them, that this guy here has got the brown in there a little bit, but I don't know. To me, it almost makes them look cooler, but I don't know that that's going to matter. What I think and what the fur buyers think are two different things. So all right, let's get this coyote out of here. Keep on moving. All right, guys, we're to the next sets here. Again, not that many sets down from where I just had that coyote, but enough. I'm by this bigger slough you can see behind me, and then there's a chunk of it on this side. There's a lot of like dirty mud or muddy water, like current going through here. My 110 on that side of the road, it had like turned. And when it turned, it like dipped it down. So my trap was basically completely under the water. It's gonna be pretty hard to catch a muskrat like that. But on this side of the road, that looks like a muskrat. And this 110 is set off. So let's pull him up, see what he looks like. Ugh. So that looks like a muskrat there. Pretty decent sized one. Not too bad. Let's pull this guy up. For some reason this one didn't fall off the holder here, but muskrat's caught by both front feet the way it looks. So 2 nice muskrats here. And I still do have a couple sets like up in front of my pickup over there. So, and I got that 110 remade. So we'll get these 2 reworking here and we'll go check that other one up there. All right, guys, same slew. Had the couple muskrats on that side of the road, and I got sets on this side of the road by that big culvert. I come down here and I didn't realize my trap was set off, but I couldn't see nothing in it. But I actually did have a catch, so I didn't get it pulling out of the water for you guys, but I'll show you in the trap here. Just a little muskrat, not a very big one. Again, it's hard. I think you guys could see some of it, but you could see like right here and kind of right here, and this whole area is all just cloudy, muddy. So it's almost like the muskrats, you know, when it kind of goes off this way. Like the muskrats are digging in here, or they're making bank dens up into the bank right here or something. But these sets have actually caught me quite a few muskrats here. So I don't know. We'll get this guy out of here. That makes 3 in this spot, 4 for the day so far. Having a pretty good day on the line again. Couple weasels, a coyote, and 4 muskrats. So, and we're probably halfway done checking the line. So we'll keep on going. We still got them beaver sets to get to here pretty quick, and we'll see what we got there. I tell you what, I don't think I've ever put my waders on as quick as I just did right now. I've been wearing just like hiking boots the last couple days, but I have my waders in the truck knowing that I got those beaver sets, so I need to have the waders for those. So I thought, well, in this particular set, if I make a catch, I'll just throw my waders on, because the beavers are the next traps, essentially. So what we got is this little creek that flows through here. It's spring fed, and then it flows right down through this little channel. So I thought, well, we're gonna put, and I've been calling this my otter set all along, and I could see, I don't know how well you guys could see, but I could see the tail right there. It does not look like a real big one, but it does not matter. Actually, it looks like a really little one. Probably the smallest one I've ever caught, but if you know anything about anything, you know what that tail looks like, or what that tail means. That is an otter. It is not very big. That right there is the last animal I needed to catch my local Grand Slam. I've caught every other species that I can catch. The weasel was one that I didn't have, and then the otter is kind of that 1 in a million animal for me that I know there's some around. I am just not a otter trapper. Yeah, like I said, it's not very big. I would say a young one from this year. I mean, he's not terribly small either, but he's not terribly big, but man, I don't care. This is exactly what this set was meant to catch. I have it set here specifically to try and catch an otter in here, because this creek flows all the time. And it's like, well, a perfect spot for it was better. This grass has been getting knocked down for me setting animals like that beaver over here the other day. And then this grass over here keeps getting wetted down and kind of isn't staying where I want it to, but it didn't matter. I got him through my trap and bingo, got myself an otter. So I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I drove by out onto this field and I can see this set from, you know, when I drive by, I could see his butt and the tail sticking out, and I knew exactly what I had. I damn near just slammed on the brakes and come out here right away, but I went and checked the other sets. I got nothing out there, but It don't matter. This paid for it all right here. So this particular trap, I think, has caught every water species. It caught a raccoon first, a mink, the only mink I've caught all season, a muskrat. It was set off a couple different times with some of this gook going through my trap and plugging it up, like this weed snot here, plugging it up. It's been set off a couple times. 2 days ago I had a beaver caught in it, and bingo, got myself an otter. So we'll get him out of there, get him tagged up like I need to here in Minnesota, and we're gonna reset this trap. Again, I'm gonna leave this one probably till the last day, because again, I gotta drive right by here anyway to check it, so, or to check these other sets. So gonna leave it probably till Sunday, and I think I'm gonna pull these coyote traps then too. But so yeah, it was right here. I just got an H stand down in the water here that might hold my trap. My triggers are set like a T, so they stick up from the bottom and then are just, I don't know, they're probably an inch under the water. It's a little further down than I normally have them, but there is this sludge and stuff sliding through here, and I want my trigger a little bit lower, that hopefully some of that gunk, you know, in this duckweed we call it, this stuff here, would just go over the top of my trigger and not get caught. But I apologize for talking a lot. I am just, I mean, beside myself right there. He's not very big. This year's young one, if I had to guess, but it does not matter. We'll get him out of here. We're going to remake this set. You never know. Another one might come through tomorrow. There might have been more with this one as far as I know. You catch the first one and the rest of them go by. So pretty darn stoked about that. Wow, got myself an otter. All right. Like I said, I actually didn't grab my setters, so I gotta go grab my setters out of the truck. Like I said, I'm just excited to get out here for you guys. So we'll get him out of here, get the set remade, and be on our way. Like I said, basically the next traps are them beaver sets I put in yesterday. So all right, guys, we're to the first beaver house I set up yesterday. I only put 2 sets here. So I got a drowning rig over there, but my pole is, it must not have stuck down in the mud. I almost wonder if I don't have a live beaver over there. I'm pretty sure I can see him laying. My pole, I had it pushed out in the mud here, and I'm pretty sure it's laying that way, and I'm pretty sure right here is a beaver. On this side, it's such a steep bank here, I couldn't really figure out where to put a foothold, so I just have a H stand in here. And my H stand is right here. So it looked like a run kind of coming in right here. I gotta be real careful because everything is slippery and muddy. I gotta get myself down in the water here without killing myself. So my H stand is right here. It's sprung, which typically when the H stand is sprung means there's something in the trap here. And it's real heavy duty mud here. I wonder if I could set you guys up here. Okay. I think you guys should be able to see here. I may have to get down in the run. Oh, I got a muskrat. So that's always a possibility. I got a muskrat caught in my 330. Always caught by his tail. Ah, shoot. Okay. So we'll have to, I didn't grab my setters again. We'll have to grab my setters, come down here and reset that one. Oh yeah, this beaver is still alive. And we'll have to get this guy dispatched. I don't know how he got my thing pulled because I had a heck of a time getting my rod pushed down into the mud because the bottom is so hard. So what I had is I had made a caster mound like right here on the bank someplace. Oh, it's right over here. My caster mound. But that's a damn good sized beaver the way it looks. So we'll get him dispatched here, and then we'll turn you guys back on. Yeah, that's a pretty good sized beaver the way it looks. Looks like he's all the way to the end of the drowning rod here. Luckily the stop held him. It's staked up here with a 24-inch T-bar stake, so luckily he couldn't pull my whole stake and everything, you know, from way out there. So doesn't look like he was up on the bank at all here, just it's probably as far as he could get. So we'll get him dispatched and we'll grab my setters and we'll show you once I get him out of there. All right, everyone. The rodeo is over here. Wow. So I got the muskrat set remade over there. The muskrat's laying right up here on the bank right there. And I got this guy. So what I did is I pushed my pole as hard as I could get it into the bottom. Right there's my caster mound. I got all this stuff kind of blocking the edge so they don't try to go around it. You know, it's just natural stuff that they were pulling up here anyway. I didn't really show it that good because I had the live beaver, but they got quite a big kind of feed bed over the top. I'm assuming there's a run right in here someplace. I didn't even check yesterday. I wanted to put footholds because I like footholding them. That side, there was just no way to put a foothold there, so I ended up putting that conibear on the run. But they do have a feed bed out in the front out there. I don't know how many beaver are here. I thought maybe it'd be just a pair, but that's a good sized beaver. He's probably, oh, he's into the 50s for sure. I don't know if he'll make 60 or not, but it's a darn good sized beaver anyway. It didn't take too much to get him dispatched. He was sitting on the bank right here, but as soon as I come back, then he was out here swimming around with the pole. So yeah, the Hags brackets I got on that fiberglass pole seemed to work good. It held, everything was tight. I got a 24-inch T-bar stake up here, so it was just swiveling on my stake back and forth. So I don't think there was any way he would ever get it out, because without him being here and like pulling up on that stake, you know, out 10 feet out or 8 feet out, whatever he was on that rod, they just can't get the leverage. So yeah, we redid our caster mound, got it lured with Dobbin's backbreaker, which is my go-to caster lure, and I got that set over there done. But there he is, the big guy. He's all loosey-goosey, which is going to make him that much more interesting. I got to get him drug up this hill 20 yards and up to my truck, so it's going to be an interesting feat to get him up there, but we'll do the best I can. We're going to get him up there. Ain't even the best I can. We'll fight him up the hill if I have to. Just pick him up, set him down, pick him up, set him down if I have to. Because this camera's not showing it that great, but this is a 45-degree hill, if not a little more. I don't know if you kind of look that way, you could see the hillside. So yeah, it's interesting to get down in here, but one big beaver. Landon would be pretty happy about that. We'll get him thrown in the truck with everything else I got caught today and keep on moving. All right, guys, we're just checking a few weasel boxes kind of in between sets here, and I'll be gosh darn if I didn't get another one. So pretty good size wildlife. If you guys watched my summer video, right down here is where I was trying to trap the beaver this summer. I caught one. I do have another weasel box down here. Oh, better than a quarter mile. There's a culvert goes under the road down there, but there's a culvert goes under the road right here. And again, this is one I've had a box here for, I don't know, a while, 4 or 5 years, ever since I built boxes, and nothing. I don't even think I've caught a mouse in this box. But today, as you can see, that is a leg of a weasel. So there you go. Looks like just a real little small guy. He's got a little bit of brown mixed in on him too, which is, like I said, pretty surprising to me. So he's pretty small, about the size of the first one I caught, but we'll take him. That makes 3 weasels in one check, which is ridiculous, I guess. It was cold. It got down into the high 20s last night, almost flat calm, so they must have been moving around. I only got, let's see, I've checked 11 out of the 12 boxes I got out, so yeah, 3 weasels and a shrew, and I didn't show you the shrew, and I won't be showing you shrews in the weasel boxes, but so yeah, I don't know, that's sort of ridiculous, 3 in one day, but I don't know. We'll get this little guy out of there. We're gonna remake this set. This is a big enough wildlife there. I'm not too worried about trapping them out of here or anything like that. So, all right, get him out of here. Let's keep going. All right, everyone, we're to the second beaver house I sat yesterday or put traps around yesterday. So I don't know if you guys could see, but over there, there's a great big slough, and basically on the far side of that, way over there, is where I just had that weasel caught. So we're thinking is the beaver are moving from this house. They go just right up over kind of where the point of the cattails are here, and then there's actually a channel goes from that big slough into this slough here. So we're thinking they're just going up in there and then they're plugging up that culvert or whatever. So landowner told me how to get back here. I got 5 sets here. So the house is right here. We'll get in there and show you. I have a foothold, conifer bear on a run, conifer bear on a run, conifer bear on a run, and a foothold. So we're just gonna go around the horn, show you the sets as I get to them, and show you if there's any catches here. Okay, so again, here's the house. Well, that ain't great. We got a great big raccoon over there. That's an interesting thing in itself. So that's number 50 for the year. I did not expect to catch that. But you can see the house here. Right here I had a foothold with a little bit of a wood chipper on there, Dobbin's wood chipper. That's kind of a little bit different lure. But it actually looks like they may have actually put some fresh mud up here since yesterday. My trap would have been right here and it is gone. I don't see anything floating out here, but that don't always mean nothing. So I'm just pulling the stake here. I mean, at the very least, I don't see a raccoon floating there. Well, that's not great. An empty trap. I don't see no toenails or nothing in there. So that's not ideal. Right here. So we got a run right here. And another run over here. But I don't even see my H stand over there. So this one here, I can see my H stand is sprung. Typically that means the trap is sprung. I was trying to reach, see if I could feel my trap down here, but I don't even feel that. I was hoping to show you on film here. So this is the deepest run out of all of them here. My trap is sprung. I almost think it might be empty. Oh, we got a muskrat. Gosh darn it. So we got a muskrat in that set. I had that stick kind of blocking off the side of the run a little bit. But now we got to figure out where my other set is here. Because I got this stupid raccoon caught in a foothold. There's another trap underneath where that raccoon is. But there should have been an H stand. Right. Oh, it's right over here. I was thinking the run was right here, but it's not. The run is right here going in, and it almost like comes out and goes a little this way too. But I'm pretty sure I don't know if you guys can see the brown down there, but right there it looks like brown. Again, another fairly deep run here. We're gonna get up over here by Mr. Raccoon. Ooh. We got ourselves a big beaver here too. That's a giant. Yeah, that's a heck of a beaver there too. And what I had here is I had a caster mount. It was up right over here. As you can see, I got Rocky the Raccoon in there. I do have someplace in there. He's on a drowning pole, so he can't really go too far. So we're gonna go around him. And we'll have to come back in here and get him dispatched. But that raccoon right there is fairly significant too. That is number 50 for the year. 50 raccoons for the season. So we got a muskrat over there, a big beaver here. I'm not so sure that there wasn't a beaver swimming around. Like a couple times out by this little feed bed, I could hear like bloop, 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 bloop when I was making these sets, but I never seen anything. So I wondered if there wasn't a beaver outside the house, because this guy was caught coming in to the house. So wherever he was at, I got him caught coming back in. And then we got Rocky the Raccoon. And then I'm just curious where, right here, there was an actual run kind of coming out the side of this house. And I had a 280 blocking it, which I'm sure this guy's probably got set off. Yeah, so there's my 280 with nothing but a stick in there. So I'm gonna pull the 280. We'll get this guy dispatched. We'll see if I can make a caster mount back over here now. Yeah, actually almost helped it because this was pretty wide open in here. So I didn't really have a good spot. My caster mount was right here on this little clump, and I used a few sticks off of the house here to neck them down to get them into my trap. But either way, so the 280, this little run, my 280 wasn't even completely under the water, and it just was a real narrow, small channel that was only 6 inches deep until you got right to the house, and then it like went down into the house. So I've caught them in the past in these little tiny small entrances. So that's where I thought I'd block it with a 280, but this guy sort of ruined that. So muskrat over there, a miss on the far one, which I'm not happy about. So a miss, muskrat, big beaver, raccoon, and a set-off trap, I guess we'll call it. So 5 sets, 3 critters to take home, including Mr. Raccoon, which is number 50 for the year. So just kind of setting all kinds of personal bests. I got 3 weasels caught today. That's a personal best for me. Yeah, 2 giant beavers. That's a big beaver over here. I wonder if I could get him out of the water a little more for you. Mr. Rocky the Raccoon ain't gonna go too far. Just wondering how far I could go with this guy. I don't know where I staked my trap down at. Ugh. All right, there you go. There you can see him. That's probably a 45 pounder, I bet, if I was a betting man. Perfect head catch in that Bridger 330. Basically, I like them because, as you can see, it will hold the muskrat if that sets it off. So anything sets it off, usually there's something waiting for you. So it's a nice big beaver coming into the house here. So glad to have him. We'll, like I said, we're going to start getting all this stuff reworked. It's going to took me probably an hour to find all the runs and everything and to get everything set yesterday. It's probably going to take me close to that again today, getting this set here remade. and getting 2 conibears on the runs and getting a foothold over there. So we'll be down to 4 sets here tomorrow, but to check. All right, with that, Beaver number 4 for the year, Raccoon number 50 for the year, Muskrat number, I think, 309. Again, just racking up the fur. So it's a decent sized house. It's been here for a bit. This year isn't just the first year for this thing. But like I said, to me, it looks like there's fresh mud up on the top over there. So I'm sure there's more than just this one big beaver in here. There really ain't much for a feed bed. That's part of it, though. That feed bed's only 6 feet around out there. So I figured maybe there'd be a whole family out here, and there could be because there's a big guy here, but I don't know. I'm kind of have my suspicion if it ain't going to be just a pair or something like that out here. But we'll get everything reset and we'll find out tomorrow. All right, let's get going. All right, guys. Trying to use my hat to block the sun a little bit, but we're literally to the next set after those beaver sets. Did take me all that long to get them reset. You know, that's part of the whole trapping experience. It takes you quite a while to get sets put out to begin with. But once you have them out, maintaining them doesn't take that long. So I did pull that 280 because, again, the raccoon had destroyed that where that set was at. Nothing's going to be coming in and out of the side of that house after that. So, and if they come out, they're going to come out right in the middle of a wad of cattails because he had it all covered with cattails. So reset both footholds, and I reset both conibears on the runs coming in and out of the house. So maybe tomorrow we can keep the raccoons and or muskrats out of my beaver sets, including the other house. I had a muskrat in the other house too. So that's part of setting the runs right away. If I was trapping for a while longer, I wouldn't have set the runs right to begin with. I would have just set footholds there to begin with. And then if my catch slowed down or if they were messing with me, like I did have the one set off trap, then I would set traps over the runs. But both of the instances, it's kind of a smash and grab type situation. I'm only going to be checking them twice more, 3 times total. So it was, well, put as good a quality sets as you can get in there right away, and let's get the beaver caught and get out of there. So with all that said, I'm to the next spot. So we got this drainage ditch runs up towards where this house is, and then eventually ends up into these trees. Alfalfa field, we got a bean field on that side. On this side it runs up and it ends up over here by these trees. Kind of, there's a hill over there where they dug the actual ditch, and then it runs down the fence line down to a slough over there. You got the big fence line out there, and obviously the drainage ditch. And we got a little field road comes down from this farm place and a bridge here so they can get to this field to actually farm the field. And today I caught one raccoon early on in that set. This set had been messed with. I remade it, and I had a fox in there. Then I caught a skunk in there. I had a pullout of a raccoon in there. But now we got a pretty ashamed looking coyote in there. He's ashamed of himself. He keeps kind of hiding his face. It's like, you don't see me, I don't see you type of situation. But it's fun coming down the road. As soon as I crested the hill way up by that farm up there, I could see that he was sitting here. And a little bit ago, he literally was sitting on his butt like a dog would sit. So, I mean, I understand he's a canine, but just sitting there like looking at me while I was getting my stuff ready over here. So yeah. Pretty decent looking coyote. He's not muddy like the other one, which is nice. He's a little bit tawnier color than some, but caught deep in that MB 550 the way it looks above the pads, so he wasn't going to pull out of there. All right, we'll get him out of here, get this set remade. I don't have that many sets left. I got 3-4 coyote sets and a half a dozen raccoon sets, and we'll be home, so... All right, let's get him out of here, keep moving. One thing that I am, before I shut you off, started running out of space because we got a wet beaver, we got a sort of wet raccoon, and a muddy coyote. We got 3 weasels over there, an otter, and 6 or 7 muskrats in that milk crate. So we're going to try and stick him right up there by that weasel box, and hopefully he'll stay dry and or clean, I guess. He's going to be up against this muddy coyote, but either way, we'll get him in here. Keep on moving. Got a bed full of fur today. That thing's got a huge tail. I don't know, 7.5 inches, I bet that thing is wide. It's fairly short, but it's wide. All right. Let's take care of him and keep on moving. All right, we made her home. Everything's checked. Now the work begins. Or more of the work, I guess. We're going to quick show you this guy just because I got him hanging here and my thing will zero back out. So we got the littler of the two, the second beaver, weighed 43.2. This guy here. And again, my thing, the up and over isn't working. I don't know if you guys can get, there you go. So it's 56.2 pounds. So he's within like less than a pound, I think. Or maybe 2 pounds of the one that I caught before. So 56 pounder, that's a big beaver for around here. Even a 43 pounder, that's an adult beaver for sure. So 2 big beavers, got huge tails. You know, it's over 7 inches wide. You know, that one's not terribly long. This one here is plenty wide and plenty long. I mean, it's, I don't know, probably 13, 14 inches long. So can definitely do some paddling with that. One thing I do get is I get very few bites in the tails because I don't have a huge beaver population. So, you know, both of them are nice clean tails. So, you know, one nice thing about, I guess, the beaver I catch is I don't have the bite marks. Not that I do anything with the tails anyway, but. All right, well, as long as I got that showed to you guys, like I said, the scale, you know, will shut off here on its own if I don't show it right away. So kind of just a rundown of the day. It was a heck of a day out on the line today. I can't ask for much better than what I got. So again, several personal bests again today. Raccoon number 50 for the year. 3 weasels in a day is the record for me. I have only ever caught, I think, just 1 a day is all I've ever caught. I don't think I've ever even doubled up on a single day. So 3 in 1 day is kind of ridiculous. It was colder again last night, like high 20s, which is colder than it has been since I put my boxes out for sure. So yeah, so we have that. And then we got the otter over here, which again, we'll show them a little better here in a second, but that completes my Grand Slam. So I needed the weasel and the otter were the 2 I had left. So completed the local Grand Slam for me. I've caught every species now that's legal to trap in my area right now. I could try to get a fisher, but I have to wait till almost Christmas here in Minnesota to even trap fisher, and I don't care to catch them. So I'm still considering that I completed the local Grand Slam because anything that's open right now for season-wise, I've caught. Yeah, so completed the local Grand Slam, 50 raccoons for the season, 3 weasels in 1 day, several big beavers here. Keep adding to the coyote count, keep adding to the muskrat count. We, definitely extended my personal best season there again today, so just all around a heck of a day on the line. Lots of catches, lots of variety today, probably the most variety I've had. But yeah, with that said, I got a lot of skinning ahead of me, so let's go right through it. So again, this is the first beaver I caught. He was still alive in the trap, and this one here is the second beaver caught by the second house, along with this raccoon over here. Decent sized raccoon. He's not huge, but he's not young of the year, I don't think. I mean, he's all wet, so he doesn't look quite as nice as he should. But yeah, I think a decent colored raccoon. He's silver colored the way it looks. He's just wet and damp. So yeah, we'll have to get him dried off a little bit. The first coyote of the day, back kind of behind that abandoned farm place, and he is a mud ball. I mean, he is just coated with mud. I mean, I think underneath there, you know, he's pretty well furred, well colored. He's just a mud ball. So definitely going to have to run him through the wash. Second coyote caught out by that land bridge, a little smaller coyote. Again, pretty well furred. He's got a bunch of burrs up here in his neck, but he does actually have a bunch of mud here on his butt. And he's got like big clods right here on the side of his face. So I don't know if that's just the way he was laying there. I guess he's got a bunch of mud in his tail here too. So both of these guys are going to have to get washed. It's just not going to be today. We're just worrying about getting stuff skinned every day is all I've been trying to worry about. All right, so let's go over to these guys. 2, 4, 6, 7 more muskrats. 5 of them would have been caught in muskrat sets. Out of the 13 sets, I had 5 muskrats again. So, I mean, even when I'm only running this half line, I'm still like dang near 50% catch rate. Probably over 40%, I don't know what it is, but 2 in the beaver sets, which I don't want to be catching them in the beaver sets. I'd prefer beavers there. But it's every time you put a conibear in front of a run, the first animal that goes out is most likely the one you're going to catch. And if that happens to be a muskrat, that's what you're going to catch. So I don't know if this guy here got out of the house like where I had the muskrat caught, or if he was out of the house and then tried to come back in, but I caught him coming into the house. So unless they got some bank dens along there someplace, but it's pretty shallow bank there, so I don't know if they'd be able to get a bank den in there somewhere or not. And then we got these 3 guys. First weasel of the year. This little guy here, he's got kind of like a yellowish stain to the back of him, but he's full white, which I thought that they would all be this time of year. Again, a small weasel. I have short tails is all I have here. So a little bit small, but he's a smaller short tail even. The second one here is quite a bit bigger. I mean, you compare sizes. You know, I got the butts lined up. He's 2 inches plus longer. Nice white belly, but he's still got a little bit of brown in his back here. All the way from his nose, basically all the way to his butt, and maybe even a little in his tail there. And I did pull that box. I got it right here. I almost reset it out, and then after I went by, I forgot to put it there. So I might leave it in there for today and put it out tomorrow. And then the third one in a spot that, like I said, I've had a box for a few years and just never put a set there, but he's got a nice white belly, but again, he's got a little bit of the, you know, kind of, well, brown or darker colored hairs mixed in there. So I don't know what that's going to do to the value of them, if anything, but this one's small again. You know, he's about the same size as the first one. So 2 smaller ones, 1 bigger one, 3 weasels nonetheless. Again, once you catch one, if you catch one a day, to me, that's doing really well. I do have a dozen boxes out, or 11 now, because I picked one up, but I had 12 to check today. So, I mean, you could technically get 12 weasels in one check, I guess. I did have a shrew in one of the boxes, so, you know, 33% catch rate on a weasel box is probably pretty high, I would think. But, yeah, I don't know. Again, I needed the weasel, and I needed an otter for the finish the local Grand Slams. So, let's just set these 3 monstrosities over here, and we'll grab this guy. He is not a big weasel or big otter. He is the smallest one I've ever caught, I'm pretty sure, probably by a ways. Young of the year otter, I'm sure. Got to tag him here in Minnesota, so I got him tagged there. That tag will have to stay with the pelt until I get him to the DNR to get him registered. But man, they got beautiful fur. I mean, he's a little roughed up because he, you know, just the way he's still wet up there, but beautiful fur, nice silky. He's not singed at all. He's, you know, I don't know, pretty fluffy. Pretty darn happy about that guy. Even though he's small, it doesn't matter to me. It's kind of a 1 in a million animal for me, so there's not a huge population of them around my area, so to catch one is a rarity. if you watch my channel at all, you kind of know that I call them the 1 in a million animal, because there's like a 1 in a million chance I catch one each year. You know, I go several years in between catching them, it seems like. So yeah, to get one, I'm pretty darn excited. And that set was purposely set for otter again. So it's only the second time I've ever actually done that, is set a purposely set for an otter there. I didn't expect beavers to be in there, so the only reason why I put that trap right there is to catch an otter there. I figured maybe during the time I'm running my line here that an otter would come sneaking up through that little creek and I catch him, and sure enough it happened. So I reset the set there, so you never know, I could have another one again tomorrow. A little bigger one would be nice, but yeah, pretty stoked about that. So again, between I needed a weasel and I needed an otter at the beginning of the day, and sure enough I got them both today. So yeah, like I said, a pretty wide variety on the line. I got coyote, raccoon, and weasel for land animals, and I got 2 big beavers, an otter, and 7 muskrats for the water lines. So heck of a day on the line. Like I said, I can't ask for much more, but again, a day like today is part of the reason why I plan on pulling the line here in a couple days. It's just, you know, it's a lot. I got hours worth of skinning tonight to take care of all this stuff. The muskrats and the weasels, I'll actually get skin fleshed and boarded tonight, and you know, they'll be all done, ready to go. The otter, well, everything else will get froze. So, but yeah, I hate to pull the line. I'll flat out tell you, I hate to even consider doing it, but I don't have freezer space even to get these 2 big beaver and the coyotes and this raccoon in a freezer is going to be a tough thing to even find enough space just for them. And I have essentially 3 more checks on most of the lines. So beaver sets, we're going to do 2 more checks on them. Today is Friday. We're going to check Saturday morning and Sunday, and we're going to pull them. And then we're actually going to pull the otter set that on Sunday as well, and the couple coyote sets down there, because it's 15 miles out of my way just to go check those couple coyote sets and that otter set. Should I leave it that extra day and go pull it the day I'm pulling the rest of the line? Yes. But it will save me quite a bit of time not driving down there on the day I'm pulling the rest of the line. So we're going to pull them one day early. I still got to think about like the muskrat sets and the mink sets. The mink sets I might try to pull. I might leave the muskrat sets. The mink sets, the only reason I'm going to pull them or thinking about pulling them is because then I got the big plates and stuff to deal, or the drowning weights to deal with and all that. And they do take a little bit of time to get those picked up. So I might leave the muskrat sets, but pull the mink sets. I don't know, I can't seem to catch a stinking mink in them anyway, so between raccoons and muskrats. So yeah, like I said, that's on my mind. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know we're going to keep running. We're going to keep catching. I remade all the sets today. I didn't pull anything except for the 1 weasel box, and that's just because I don't want to overtrap the weasels out of that spot. The other 2 spots where I caught weasels, I've caught multiple weasels in the one spot other years, and I still catch them year over year there. And then the other one's a giant, I mean, most of a quarter of CRP there. You know, there's some slough in there and everything else. So I'm not worried about over trapping that area. So if I catch, you know, another weasel or even 2 out of there, I wouldn't be concerned that I'm hurting the population there. So some of the other places I got sets out, if I do make weasel catches, I'll probably pull the box there too. So yeah, again, I don't need to catch every weasel in the countryside, but my goal is actually 5 weasels this year. So I made a pretty good dent in that already. And again, the weasel boxes, I need to figure out whether I'm pulling them Sunday or Monday. So whether it's going to be just 2 more checks or leave them for 3 checks. So all right, I feel like I've talked long enough. Again, 50 muskrats. If you would have told me that, or 50 raccoons, sorry. If you'd have told me that at the beginning of the year, I would have told you you're crazy right to your face. I'd have called you a flat face, ugly face of wire right to your face. I couldn't catch one last year. I only caught 9 the entire season last year, and that's number 50 this year. 3 weasels in a day. Again, I would have told you you're lying. And then the otter, you know, I believe it's possible. I put the set there to catch it, but it's just, you never know whether it's going to happen or not. So, all right, one last look. 1 big beaver, 2 big beavers, the old raccoon, 3 weasels, 2 coyotes, an otter, and 7 muskrats. Let's get to skinning. With that said, I appreciate you guys riding around with me. We'll see you out on the line tomorrow.